All right, guys. This is Lawn Care Accelerator meetup. It is what day is it? Wednesday, October 26th. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's the week after Equip Expo, and we have Wayne Martin and Eamon Giboo with us, and yeah, there's no agenda on the schedule today, so we're just gonna talk and maybe talk about our year, how our summer's been, plans we might have for the fall, and heading into winter and 2023. We only have about half an hour here, so let's get into it. But we'll start with you, Wayne. No one knows you because you haven't been on the podcast or anything like that. So just do a quick, 3-minute intro of who you are and your business and employees and where you work out of.
Right. Okay. Wayne Ground Effects is the company. Work Denver, South Denver. Known Quentin here for years and years and years.
Since like 2005 or 2006, huh?
Jeez, I quit counting after about the third year. Wife and 2 little kids, which is why I haven't been to the Accelerator in quite some time. Summertime's busy, and get home it's busy too. So
Yeah.
but things are slowing down now, so it's nice to be here.
Yeah. So how many employees do you have? Like how many customers, weekly mowing customers? I know, mowing for the most part is pretty much done for us here in Colorado. But, in the summer, how many mowing customers did you have?
About 160,
Okay.
and employees 1, and then marginally 2. It'll kind of bounce between, but yeah, right now just 1.
So did you finish the year with 160 mowing customers?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Even
That's
just 2 people, I feel like that's a lot.
yeah. I mean that's about 2 times as much as me. Granted, I get done at 12:30, 1 o'clock. But
I'm jealous.
Those big machines that you got.
yeah. So yeah, you're in South Denver, and so if none of you know, this is actually who I worked for before I started Lawn Care Ninja. Worked with him for like 15 or 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was married, he was my best man at my wedding, and we've got a pretty good friendship going, and it's just nice to know you, and it was nice to always be working because you were a great guy to work for.
Oh,
I've always said that. I remember there was a time it was that I think they tore the house down, but it was that one right across from Wash Park.
Yeah, Gilpin. The
The
valve
sprinklers,
in the ground.
yeah, there were sprinklers going off, and I thought it would be a good idea to reach in the sprinkler control box and turn the sprinklers off so we could mow the lawn. And it like broke off, and water was just like shooting out.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh crap. I'm trying to like screw it back on. Can't screw it on. Like it's this control box is starting to fill up with water. So I give him a call, and I tell him, and he's like, okay. So he like rolls in with the truck, and he's like has 2 workers with him, and they're all just it was like shooting like 20 feet up in the air, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it was
Come up to the outside and turn it off.
Huh?
What's the outside water valve out, like right by the?
Oh, we'll get to that.
That's what I'm saying.
We'll get to that. So everyone was like, they pulled up, and everyone was just looking at me like, oh my gosh, what did he do? So he tried fixing it, couldn't fix it. Tried calling the customer. Right? Was she home at the time?
Physically, she was home. Mentally, I don't think so. No, that story is great. Because I remember you called me, and you're just like, we've got a little bit of an issue with the sprinklers. And I remember on the phone being like, okay, that's cool. Yeah, no worries. Just whatever you do, don't go in the valve box. And you're just like, yeah, too late. And we got there, and I was like, oh. And yeah, the customer was home, but yeah, kind of clueless. We tried turning the water off at the backflow preventer, but it was an old they had bypassed it. Like nothing made sense. But yeah, I think the good Lord was smiling on us that night, because yeah, what should have turned the water off to the sprinklers system didn't. So our only other option was to turn the water off at the house, which I don't think the customer would have been too stoked on.
Yeah, didn't because you had to crawl in the crawl space, right, to actually turn it off.
Yeah, but that wasn't it. No, like thank God, she gave us the number for the person who did her sprinklers, and he came out that night. Which bless his heart. Again, that's why I think God was smiling on us that night, because I wouldn't have done that. I've been like, no, I'll catch up with you tomorrow. He comes out, and it turned out the water shutoff was actually an old T system, 6 feet in the ground. So he came out with the T, and he knew where it was, and we cranked it off that way. And yeah, and the fix itself wasn't really. It was just a solenoid. I think it was just a solenoid that blew off.
Yeah.
The valve. So nothing. Again, that was a crazy experience. That was a crazy adventure. And in hindsight, and that's been good too, actually, because it helps when things like that happen, where you think like, oh boy, the world is caving in around me, and then everything ends up being okay. If you can remember stuff like that, like it kind of helps you as time goes on when other things happen, and say, all right, it's not the end of the world, because that wasn't the end of the world. Therefore, this won't be the end of the world, and then everything.
For me, it seemed like it.
Yeah.
Like, first day on the job and do that, it's like, oh, that's definitely the end of the world. But,
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
never touched a sprinkler valve again, did you?
No, and that's one of the reasons why I never really wanted to get into sprinklers, because it was just like I'm not gonna make that mistake again.
I would say if you value having nicely manicured hands, you probably don't want to get into sprinklers either.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that's some hard work.
Yeah.
So I just wrapped up my last scheduled week of mowing last week. When did you finish your mowing?
2 weeks ago. Usually I'll drag it into through the third week of October, just to like kind of keep everybody busy, and just and because why not? But this year with only one other employee, and there was enough what I call odds and ends, like a lot of grassy perennials that had to be chopped, a lot of cleanups, a lot of stuff that didn't get done over the summer. So I was like, all right, let's crank this stuff out now before the leaves start to fly. And so yeah, so I cut mowing off a little bit early, but I'm very glad I did, because I'm not close to taking care of like all the weeding jobs, bush trimming jobs, grassies. We just finished our aerating today, which should have been done last week. So kind of glad I cut mowing off at the knees a week early, and the leaves are already dropping. It's
Yeah, well,
early
we just had
autumn.
our first freeze, so hopefully that starts the process even more.
Yeah.
Because last year was really nice, because things were so dry. I was able to get through everything, and because we didn't get any moisture for like 2 months or something.
Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, everyone is complaining about the drought. And I was like, you know what? Once I'm done with these cleanups, I'll be complaining right alongside you.
Yeah.
But until then, I'm loving this greenhouse gases or whatever it is, this global warming that's keeping us going.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. When Eamon, when did you finish your mowing?
Well, it was supposed to be last week, but I've had a few people reach out this week. They're like, hey, I didn't do it last week, but can we do it this week? It kind of grew. So I'm going out and doing a few. Like maybe, I would say 10 total this week. So
Okay.
last week was really...
Out of you have about 44, 46?
Yeah, 46. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's not bad.
Because there are some that, it's new houses, new sods. So I was cutting it a little higher until they shut their sprinklers off, because the ground was still kind of spongy. So I was waiting for the ground to solidify a little bit to be able to actually cut it a little lower. So that's what I was doing this week.
Yeah.
I'm like, cool.
Yeah. I reached out to all of my customers on Monday and, asked them if they wanted us to, come out one more time. And I think I have like 4 already for next week. So,
Oh, mowings?
yeah.
Wow.
It's I mean, it's like I don't want to mow, but I'll take the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take the money.
As well.
Now, are you mowing grass or grass or leaves?
Well, it's probably going to be a mixture of both, but
And do they know that the price is going to go up if you're mowing leaves?
one of my customers does. It's I'm not going to say the name, just in case you might be watching. But I'll tell it after we're done. But he wanted me to like blow everything into his lawn and like mulch it with a mower. I'm like, okay, I can't really comment on a firm price, but it could be $125. It could be $200. And he was like, well, I like the 125 a lot better. I'm like, yeah, I know, but if you're having us blow your whole property
Yeah.
into the lawn, and then you're having us mulch it.
I wish you could say politely, like, do you understand you cannot mulch leaves that are 3 inches deep on your lawn? You cannot put a machine on it, and then the machine just magically makes the leaves disappear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're gonna end up raking that stuff and tarping it away, and
Yeah.
it's a leaf cleanup. It's not a mow.
Basically, I had a couple people that just asked me if I could mow over whatever's on the lawn. I didn't have to blow anything into the lawn. They were just like, go over the leaves with your mower, mulch it up. I'll pay double what you usually mow because you're going to do a couple passes. I'm like, all right.
How many leaves were there?
It was a lot. But
Like a blanket?
yeah. It wasn't 3 inches, but it was enough to where I just cut at like 3 1/4 inch and then I cut one more time at 2 3/4 and I was good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Sweet.
It wasn't too bad. But as I was doing it, it was windy that day, so more leaves were just blowing in. I was like, I got it basically all cleared, and then more leaves showed up, and I was like, well, I did what I came here to do, and now whatever's left is, not my problem, unless he wants me to come back and do it.
That's hilarious. We were doing a leaf cleanup today for a customer who wants us to come out weekly, which I normally don't do. But she's willing to pay the bill, so we'll do it. But we're out there today, and finally, there's still lots of leaves in the trees, and the gentleman who helps me finally just put the blower down, and he's just like, dude, I'm done. Like, the leaves are coming down. Like, as we're doing this cleanup, like, it's raining leaves on us while I'm doing this. He's just like, the insanity has to stop. And so I was like, all right, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like Monday or Tuesday, it was real windy, and it just leaves everywhere down in Castle Rock.
Yeah. I think it was Monday.
Yeah,
It was pretty breezy.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, my neighbor's tree is like half gone now. Like all the leaves are half off because it's like the other part is blocked by the house.
Yeah.
So whatever was coming through the house knocked all the leaves off one side of the tree, and then she's got a line in the middle of the tree, and all the leaves are still on the other side.
I think it's funny when you're out and about and you see one yard. There's like a tree in one lawn and it's all covered here, but then like the next one, it's like all nice and done because someone just got done doing the leaves there and didn't bother to pick up any in the neighbors, which I wouldn't. I'm usually I'll usually go like 3 to 5 feet into a neighbor's.
Yeah, I don't really do cleanups right now. I'll mow over leaves and mulch them up, but I won't bag them or anything. Just because I don't have anywhere to dump them, and you're gonna get multiple bags
Yeah.
or like a whole trailer full. One, I don't have a trailer, so it's like I can't put them in a trailer.
You should look into a product called Leaf Burrito.
I've seen it. It was unveiled last year, wasn't it?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw a video about it. I don't remember whose video.
I didn't do it. I was waiting in line to do it this year, but they were so busy like selling them that the lady who I was gonna interview she was just too busy taking orders, and I'm like, okay, like you're trying to make money. I'll let you keep doing that.
I can't find a place to dump like leaves or grass clippings because like there's a mulch program in Castle Rock where you could take like tree branches and shrubs and stuff for free and dump them there, and they chip it up and everything and make mulch out of it. So it's a free place, but they won't take grass clipping or leaves. Well, then the next closest dump is Sedalia, but they don't take grass clippings or leaf, and they have a minimum charge of $91 per truck.
I told you about A1 Organics.
Yeah,
It's off of like Santa Fe and Oxford.
yeah, that's like a 30-minute drive north and a 30-minute drive back down. It's just like
It's a way to make some money. Well, what you could do is just put them in the back of your truck and then just drive down the highway.
I could.
I'm joking. Don't do that. You could get a ticket.
Yeah, but I haven't found it, and I know that there's got to be someplace close to Castle Rock, but I just cannot find it by searching Google searches for like dumps, landfills, whatever.
Yeah.
I just can't find it. I did see somebody posted in one of the Castle Rock town groups saying that he's got land and he's looking for compost, so if you have leaves, I'll take them. And I was like, cool, well, I'm not doing any cleanup, so I don't need to. But I thought about messaging him and asking, like, hey, during the summer, do you take grass clippings? Because I collect for a few people. I'd rather not, but I do. And I could charge more to haul them away and just dump them there for them. And it works out. But
What about like have you tried like nurseries or? Because maybe they could
I
use it as like a compost.
because the nurseries, yeah, it's still the same thing. It's like 30-minute drive, east or west. So it's just how do you charge to dispose that? Like
What about,
You just build it into your pricing.
Eamon, what about Elizabeth? 'Cause
Elizabeth, yeah, that's 30-minute drive.
that's 30 minutes east of you?
Yeah,
Hmm.
they got a good meat locker plant, like butcher shop there. They get all of our meats and all of our smoked ribs and stuff from there.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right, so we're probably going to be wrapping up here pretty quick. But with you, Wayne, how has this year been for you as far as, I guess, just mentally, but also like business wise? Like, would you call it so far a success? Is there anything that you would looking back? Is there anything that you would change or do differently?
You're asking me to be self-reflective.
I mean, it can be, something, simple. It doesn't have to, just be deep. But, just because if there's anyone watching out there, thinking, they might be struggling with something, and it could be something that you mentioned, and and it could help them.
Yeah. Plus, actually, you consistently and constantly nagging me to up my prices has been a wonderful thing. Because, like you said, and as I have found, you actually enjoy your work more when you know you're getting paid more. It becomes quasi-enjoyable. So that part was good. Because, yeah, I did pretty stiff price increases this year. Anything I do differently? Probably maybe do some downsizing. Maybe either next year I'm going to have to hire more or get rid of some customers. The work-life balance got kind of out of whack this summer. So the money was really good, but my sanity, it was just extremely busy, 10-hour days or so, and then paperwork at night and all that. And it hasn't always been like that. It was just because of some things I didn't see unfolding during the summertime. Then I had to take on a lot more work that wasn't planned on. Mm-hmm. And also, it's typically not like that. Like, I've got the work-life balance thing down pretty good. Kind of fell apart this year, so I'm just going to be intense about getting it back next year, which again will mean hiring more or cutting back.
Sitting down with me over the winter and utilizing Yardbook.
Exactly. That too.
Because honestly, yard book could save you so much.
Yeah, I'm a believer. I like what I've seen so far. It already has quite a bit. So yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. Anything else? Ba-do. Otherwise, it's a pretty good summer. You know, like when you, after you've been doing this for a while, people just trust you.
Like your customers, you mean?
Yeah, customers trust you. So yeah, so besides hard work, it's been good. Yeah, and every year you learn a little bit more. Taking better care of your equipment, locking stuff up so you don't get ripped up, so you don't get robbed, which I've been on the receiving end a number of times. Yeah, interacting with customers, just as time goes on, you just kind of finesse these processes better and better. I mean, I'm nowhere near being able to hit autopilot and all, but better than I was, a lot better than 10 years ago. So, yeah, it's all right. No, I'm looking forward to next year.
Good.
Still lots of more learning to do, but
Yeah, and when you mentioned downsizing, because the lights just turned pink. Yeah, when you mentioned downsizing, that's something you wanted to do. That was 3 years ago, and that's when you approached me to buy part of your business. So Wayne is actually the guy who I bought my business from because he wanted to, I think you were kind of in the same situation maybe you might feel yourself in now, where it's like you kind of want to take the reins a little bit more, or just more control, more small control.
yeah, simplicity.
Yeah. Okay. Simplicity.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's one thing you wanted to do, and you approached me with
Yeah.
buying part of the business for $4,000, which is a steal. When
Sounds like it.
when you get it was about 70 customers and
Wow.
a trailer, like 3 mowers, a trimmer, a blower.
It was a pleasure to do so. Quinn, you're good people. We've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, and it's going. This is something I talked about with Brian Fullerton on the podcast I did with him. When I first started, like I knew nothing. The only thing I knew how to do was cut grass, and like that's easy. Anyone can do it. But as far as like running the business and like doing the price increases or figuring out how much to charge or how much should you make, like that's I had no idea. And it was a struggle my first year, because I there was a customer who reached out to you because they were my customer that I got from you, but I raised her rate by like $3, I think it was.
Yeah.
And she emailed you back like, yeah, he just raised my rate. Is there anything you can do? And then you contacted me and told me what she had said.
It was a she, because okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to say names again.
You'll have to tell me who it was after we get off.
I will. But yeah, like it was a real struggle, my first year trying to do that. And, now just being so confident and, being able to, stand by my pricing. I feel like my pricing reflects, the kind of service, the customer service also, just being talkative with your customers, sending out emails and, just letting them know like, hey, this is our last scheduled week, or, just anything that, might be going on, with your business, I think, can go, a long ways in, building a relationship like that with your customers.
Being personable and consistent speaks. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Eamon, with you, like how was your year? What's one thing that was good? Is there anything that you'd like to work on for next year?
First full-time year was great. compared to last year, I only did like 13 months. So obviously, this year has been a lot better, but also taking it full time. So I'm really happy I did that. Just looking forward to snow now. Just got everything lined up. All contracts are signed. I have them all ready.
How many snow customers do you have?
I have right now. I have 20.
20?
Yeah.
That's a
Right, but I still have some that are like on a list because I don't know how many I can do because this is my first time doing snow removal. So I was like, I'll do 20, see how it goes. They're all 19 of them are all in one neighborhood, so real lucky on that. So it's like I should be able to do 19 of them in one day. Should be. That other one is just one of the people I mow for. She's elderly and can't get around, so I'm just gonna go mow, or not mow, but
Are these driveways also?
yeah, driveways, sidewalks, and
You
driveways.
might want to look at a plow for that truck you just bought.
Well,
Because then you could just back drag.
well, yeah, but that snow that you backtrack has to go somewhere.
Over onto the side.
There's no like side.
Oh no, that the 19 that's a good number, but
Yeah,
if that's 19 sidewalks and driveways,
yeah.
and you guys typically get a lot more snow in Castle Rock than up in Denver.
Yeah, but I mean, I think my pricing's worth it. It's $50 for the first 4 inches.
Yeah.
Every 3 inches after that's $10.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not bad. But
No, I think that's
It's
great
like,
pricing.
but it's my first year, so we'll see how it goes. But I would like to get a plow. Those things so expensive.
I know.
I'm just not ready to make that commitment yet.
Yeah.
I want to get different mowers and stuff before I even get a plow. I have a snowblower and shovels. So it's like, I'm fairly young. I can still do it, even though I have a herniated.
Maybe if you buy my 8010, you could use that also.
Yeah, I don't know.
It works pretty good if the snow is dry
Yeah.
and fluffy.
Which isn't very often for me.
I think it is like when you get into like December and January, December, January.
Yeah.
But I tried doing it like in like February and March, and it was like it doesn't work very
Well,
well.
it's hard to say because I try to use my little ego blower that was in the video that you did with me.
Uh-huh.
I tried to use that where it's like max 535 CFM or whatever.
No, you need something like 1,000.
Yeah, and it wouldn't do that very well. I could clear off my car just fine, but not
Yeah.
sidewalks. But one thing I was looking forward to next year,
Sure.
more customers, route density.
So do you see yourself growing next year?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably drop a few customers that are in like neighborhoods that I only have 1 or 2. Instead of driving, 10, 15 minutes to get to them and I have to drive 10, 15 minutes to get back to another neighborhood, I'll probably let those customers go and try to pick up more customers just in those neighborhoods that I'm already in. And then just work on, setting a minimum rate for mowing and go from there. Try to increase some rates going into next year, see if those people stay.
Are you going to increase everyone or?
No, probably not everybody. There's definitely a few that I underbid at the beginning of the year, and as the year went on, it was a lot harder to mow as the grass is growing a lot faster than it was at the beginning of spring. But
Do you ever find yourself on those lawns? You're like, man, this ain't worth it. I'm walking off right now.
yeah, I would always do those lawns first, so I can get them out of the way. So I'm not like I did them last for the longest time. Like there was one I had talked to you about it when you filmed that video, but I used to do that one last, and I hated being there because I was like, I am not charging enough for this because I had to double cut almost every time.
Yeah.
And I just could not do it. So finally I did raise his rate and he was fine with it and then it was fine. But then the grass stopped growing as fast, so it was easier. And I'm like, why can't it just grow this slow every
Yeah.
week? Definitely going to work on raising rates for some people, not everybody. But I want to try to get to a minimum for most of the new customers at least.
And what's your minimum going to be for next year?
40 45.
Okay.
And then it'll depend on how big the lawn is and stuff. And it'll go up from there.
Well, the point of having a minimum is like it wouldn't matter how small or
Yeah.
big the lawn is, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be 40 for the smallest, and then it could be 45 for a bigger, like more square footage, or
Okay.
50 if it's really big. But I want to try to get away from bi-weeklies too. I got a couple of those, so hopefully I can get them on the weekly and not have to do bi-weekly. It's just easier to schedule when it's all weekly.
Yeah, one day you might get off 1 o'clock, and then the next week you're getting off at like 4.
Yeah, that's how it was for me.
And plus, for me, like I just never liked it because the revenue was inconsistent.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I was starting
But then what I did for one customer is I did a 50% premium, because if a customer asks me to go every other, I'll do a 50% premium on top of their base price.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah,
so
I
if it's
started
like
doing-
$50, then they're paying 75 every other
Yeah,
week.
that's what I did for a few people. Like towards the end of the year, they wanted to go to bi-weekly, but their grass was still growing, and I was like, it's gonna be 1.5 times
Yeah.
what your weekly is, and that's why I picked up a couple bi-weeklies towards the end of the year just to get a little bit of extra revenue in. But I would basically take my $40 minimum and just do 1.5 times, so it was 60 for those bi-weeklies, and most people were okay with that. So it worked out, but I'm looking forward to next year. But I'm really looking forward to a lot of snow.
Yeah, well, hopefully next time we have the meetup, we'll have some snow stories, and
We got snow coming tomorrow.
yeah.
I don't know about up here.
I think it's supposed to be a rain snow mix, but I don't think they're calling
I think we
any
might get 1 to 2
accumulation.
inches.
Huh?
It says Castle Rock might get 1 to 2 inches tomorrow. So
Yeah.
my trigger's 2 inches, but I'm like, it's gonna stop at 11 a.m. and it's probably gonna melt.
Yeah.
Quick, so I probably won't go out. I'll check with my people, but like I don't want to go out if it's already like melted away and charge people. I feel bad, one,
Yeah.
because I'm like, I'm not doing my.
That's why you should do a 1-inch trigger.
Yeah. I feel like that it melts so fast out here though. Like once the snow stops and that sun comes out, it's gone.
Yeah.
Unless you have a north facing house, then you're kind of SOL.
Or unless it's cold enough to where it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Wayne, are you going to be increasing your prices in 2023?
More than likely, yeah. I'm looking forward to sitting down with you over the wintertime.
More than likely, I want to hear you say yes. Yes, I am. I know what your prices used to be.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine they're not where they need to be.
Well, you got your spreadsheet, and as per your advice, I have recorded times on all my lawns. So we'll do some plugging and chugging,
Yeah.
and we'll see how rich or how poor I am.
Yeah. Yeah, I think everyone needs to, increase their prices, whether it's just a little bit, but, you just need to keep up with inflation, and certain services you just need to.
Well, so that's the thing I've been thinking about. It's like you raise your prices because a lot of people say it was like cost of equipment went up, gas went up. But what about when that stuff goes down? Do you lower your rates?
No.
So that
It's never going to go down. Like
gas
the
will
price.
fluctuate all the time. But
Yeah,
the prices of
gas
equipment-
will,
yeah.
but the value of our dollar
Yeah.
won't.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, the gas might have gone down, but because our dollar's worth less,
Yeah.
it still costs us more.
Yeah, I didn't raise any of my rates at the beginning of the year just because I was like, everybody already signed up. Like, and that was my thought process. I was like, well, so everybody's saying it's because gas is going up. That's why they're raising the rates. And I was like, well, that's not good enough for me to tell people, oh, because gas is going up. I'm like, gas always fluctuates. Yeah, it went up
Yeah.
astronomically, but it's like it came down and it not back to where it was, but it's more reasonable now.
I think that with stuff like that, that's where you could maybe get away with like a surcharge.
Yeah.
Like, if gas hits a certain point, you just do like a, 50-cent fuel surcharge or something. But
To me, that's just, I don't want to feel like I'm ripping anybody off. It's just how I run my business. Okay.
Well, you're not. I mean, you see, and that's cool if you know that's what you want to do. But like, you only know if you're ripping your customers off, and hopefully your customers know if you're ripping them off or not.
Yeah.
If they know you are, they're probably not going to be your customer much longer. But you know, it's like I think most people just know. You know, it's they see this stuff. It affects them. Like you know. Excel is expensive. Groceries, I can't believe how much money I spend on like groceries and stuff, you know. All right, yeah, so that's going to do it for this video. This is Wayne Martin with Ground Effects and Eamon Giboo with Giboo Lawn Services. And yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this podcast, go ahead and hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you get the videos when we upload them. And guys, I appreciate you taking time out of your Wednesday and coming down here and chatting with me and having some Chipotle.
Of course.
And
It was a pleasure.
yeah, hope you guys can come down on the next one. And Wayne, if you ever need anything, you know how to get a hold of me.
Always.
Eamon, same with you.
Yes, sir.
And yeah, good luck the rest of this week. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
Right on.
All right, we'll see you guys.